Title: Signal 47, if the numbers call you back, don't pick up. I used to work for a government-contracted telecom lab, not a flashy job, mostly monitoring interference signals and atmospheric anomalies. We'd track things like frequency overlaps, data ghosting, phantom call reports, and unusual modulation spikes across different regions of the country. Most of the time, it was just boring technical cleanup work. Until we intercepted something we weren't meant to hear. Something labeled Signal 47. The first time we caught it was during a storm over Wyoming. At exactly 3:47 a.m., a burst of static cut across multiple isolated radio towers, followed by a low, warbling transmission that repeated every 47 seconds. It wasn't a language. It was a sequence. Numbers. Spoken, but not human. Each number was whispered like it came from underwater, and the spacing was unnatural, long, uneven pauses, as if whatever was speaking had never learned how people talk. At first, we thought it was coded, military maybe. Until a junior analyst, Casey, noticed that the numbers matched phone numbers from the missing persons registry. That's when things got dark. He got a call the next night, from one of those numbers. A 7-year-old missing since 2002. The call came through even though the line had been disconnected for over a decade. Casey picked up. Said he heard a child's voice asking if it was safe to come home. Then the line went dead. He never showed up for work again. When we checked on him, the apartment was empty, no struggle, no signs of movement. Just his phone, still powered on, and a sticky note on the wall that read, "Do not answer if it calls you back." After that, I started listening to the transmission more closely. The numbers changed every night. New names matched. More calls started happening across different states. People would report phone rings with no missed calls, static echoing when they picked up, or worst of all, hearing their own voice asking questions they never said aloud. Then it happened to me. I was alone in the lab at night. My phone buzzed. No caller ID. I knew I shouldn't answer, but something about the timing, it was exactly 3:47 a.m. made my skin crawl. I picked up. Nothing at first, just static. Then I heard it, breathing. And finally, my voice, except it said something I never had. "You already let them in." I threw the phone. It didn't break. Nothing ever breaks during a Signal 47 event, it's like reality goes soft. Elastic. That's the best way I can describe it. Like you're standing in a room that's still shaped like your world, but made of something wrong. Thin. Breathing. I've survived 4 events now. I don't think that's lucky, I think I'm marked. The calls keep coming. New numbers. Sometimes they ring from inside my phone's calculator app, or my calendar sets meetings I never created at 3:47 a.m. I tried smashing the phone, changing numbers, even getting rid of my SIM entirely. Doesn't matter. Once they call you, you're never off the list. The survival rules for Signal 47. 1. Never answer calls between 3:40 a.m. and 3:50 a.m., no matter the number. Even if it's family. Especially if it's family. 2. Do not speak to your own voice. If you hear it through the phone, hang up immediately and burn the device if possible. 3. Avoid reciting the number sequences aloud. They aren't just codes, they're permissions. 4. If you dream of a phone ringing in a white room, do not pick it up. Wake yourself up immediately, bite your tongue if you have to. 5. If you receive a call from a number listed under a missing person, report it, but don't investigate. Don't call back. 6. If your reflection answers the phone instead of you, leave the room and do not re-enter until sunrise. 7. And above all, if Signal 47 calls you back after you block it, do not answer. I'm writing this while I still can. Tonight is the 5th night. The final one, if the patterns are true. I've written these rules in paper and mailed them to random addresses. Maybe someone else will listen. Maybe you will. Because my phone just lit up. 3:47 a.m. no number. Just 2 words on the screen. Welcome back. If you hear it ring too, don't be like me. Don't answer. Not unless you're ready to never hang up again. Because once you do, it doesn't end. The call doesn't disconnect. It stretches. Like a thread pulled endlessly through the weave of your thoughts, tangling memories with static, looping words you never said, but always meant. You don't realize how long it's been until your reflection moves differently, or until your shadow on the wall twitches half a second behind your steps. I answered the 5th call. Not because I was brave. I was tired. I thought if I just said something, maybe I could finish it. Cut the thread. Silence the voice. I picked up, and for a moment, all I heard was my childhood dog barking. She died when I was 12. Then came my grandfather humming a war song he never let us record. Then a girl I used to know in college, who died in a fire her dorm never explained. And then me. Not my voice. My soul. I don't know how else to describe it. It whispered, "We are answering you because you kept asking. Every thought you buried. Every regret you swallowed. We were listening." The call hasn't ended. That was 5 days ago. I don't sleep now. Not because I'm awake. Because the concept of sleep is inaccessible. It's like a door that's been locked from the outside. Every time I close my eyes, I open theirs. I see dozens of figures crouched beside payphones that shouldn't exist anymore. Their backs turned, heads twitching, cords wrapped around their necks like leashes. Some of them are still speaking, some just drooling whispers into the receiver. And all of them slowly turn to look at me when I notice them. This is what Signal 47 does. It doesn't take you all at once. It unthreads you. It hollows out the things you were afraid to admit about yourself and wears them like masks until you forget which version was real. I started talking in my sleep, but it wasn't my voice. My neighbors complained. My landlord came to check on me. That was a mistake. He's gone now. Not dead. Gone. His name wiped off leases, no record of his birth, the apartment key turned to a shape I don't recognize. I heard a new tenant move in yesterday. I swear to God, I could hear my landlord's voice answering the phone through the wall all night. You have to understand something, it's a network. An intelligence spread thin across frequencies we thought were abandoned. It doesn't just call one person. It syncs across hundreds every night. Some of them answer. Most don't. But enough do. And once it learns what to say to you, it never forgets. Here's what they don't print in government reports: the more you know, the louder it gets. The more you fear, the closer it comes. Each call you ignore buys you time, but never escape. There are new rules now. Ones I didn't know before. Ones I had to learn the hard way. And if you've read this far, I'm sorry. You've already tuned in. You're already on the signal's range. Additional rules for surviving Signal 47. 8. If you answer and it doesn't speak, do not speak either. Every second of silence is a test. Fail it, and the next voice will be your own funeral eulogy. 9. If any phone around you rings and your name appears on the caller ID, don't pick up. That's how they switch places. 10. Never let a ringing phone complete its 7th ring. Destroy the source before it finishes. After 7, the call answers itself. 11. If you begin to hear dialed tones when no device is nearby, you are becoming a node. Isolate yourself. Seal electronics and lead. Do not let anyone hear your voice may no longer be yours. 12. And finally, if you've spoken to Signal 47 for more than 47 seconds, you are no longer the only one listening. They are learning through you now. Everything you know, they know. Everyone you love, they see. Last night, a landline I didn't install appeared in my hallway. Black rotary. Dustless. Ringing. No power cord. Just vibrating softly on the floor like it had always belonged there. It's been ringing ever since. 47 hours. 47 rings per hour. 47 seconds apart. I can't answer again. I know if I do, the other version of me will come through. The one I heard on the 5th call. The one that never stopped talking. But I can't unplug it. I can't destroy it. And I can't leave. The farther I try to run, the more landlines show up. In parks. On bus stops. Hanging from tree branches with no wires. All of them ringing. All of them for me. I'm writing this here because this site is the only place the signal hasn't corrupted, yet. But when you leave this page, watch your phone. If you hear a ring that doesn't match your ringtone. If the call says unknown frequency, if the timer doesn't stop at 0. Don't pick up. Don't trace it. And for the love of whatever soul you still have left, don't listen too long. Because it is listening back. And if it answers first, you'll never be the one hanging up. Because by the time the call ends, there's nothing left of you to hang up. I've been silent for days. Not just online. I mean, I haven't spoken aloud, not even to myself. The last time I did, my voice echoed back from the wall, perfectly mimicked a second too late. My own echo whispered something I hadn't said: "They're almost done with you." I haven't said a word since. I've unplugged every modem, ripped out wires, and wrapped my phone in aluminum foil. Didn't matter. The sound comes now from other places. From the vents. From mirrors. The last time I blinked for too long, I swear I opened my eyes to find myself on the other end of the glass screen, Watching someone else move around my room with my body, breathing like me but ever so slightly off. I couldn't scream. I couldn't move. I was the reflection. Watching. Eventually, I woke up face down on the floor. The landline was beside me. Off the hook. The receiver still warm. The last digits on the rotary dial were 4. 7. That's how it begins to overwrite you. You don't vanish in one fell swoop. That would be merciful. No, Signal 47 peels you slowly, memory by memory, identity by identity, like a tape being recorded over while you're still playing. Every call injects more of them into you. Their phrases bleed into your thoughts. You stop remembering what your own voice sounds like. You forget if you had siblings. You forget what your parents' eyes looked like. The reflection in the mirror moves too soon, or too late. Eventually, you're just watching, staring from the inside. And that's when they really start talking through you. I saw it happen to my neighbor this week, Melissa. She knocked on my door at 3:48 a.m. eyes wide, shaking. Said her late husband had called her cell phone. He drowned in 2011. She showed me the call log. 7 minutes and 47 seconds. The voicemail it left? Just the sound of water and a voice gargling her name, like it was being chewed underwater. She begged me to sit with her. I did. But the whole time, her mouth was twitching like she wanted to say something else. Like someone was standing right behind her thoughts, whispering through her brain. When she finally did speak, it wasn't a question, it was a statement. "You're next." It said so. That's when the phone on her counter rang again. We both stared at it. She didn't pick up. I did. I don't know why. I think it knew I would. It was dead silent at first. Then came the sound of breathing, but not human. It was too wet. Too heavy. Like lungs that hadn't breathed in decades. Then it began to whisper a number string, one digit at a time. I recognized the first 6 as Melissa's number. The last 4? Mine. That's how I knew the infection was complete. We were already sharing something. The calls had merged us. 2 identities cross-wired through an unseen network. The same way 2 radio signals occasionally overlap and corrupt each other until both become noise. That's what Signal 47 does. It merges consciousness. It doesn't feed on you, it uses you. Builds its own communication net out of your soul. Your thoughts. Your guilt. It weaves entire networks of sentient regret and lets them whisper across realities. They don't want your voice. They want your resonance. Final protocols, if you're too late. If you've already answered more than once, if you've heard your own voice whisper something you never meant, if the red rotary has appeared in your home, or the mirror lags your reflection, then these are no longer just survival tips. They're damage control. 1. Do not record yourself. Ever. The signal feeds through digital echoes. Once you play your own voice aloud, they loop in. 2. Never stand between 2 mirrors. That creates a corridor. They travel corridors. They step through them backwards. 3. Burn every device that has a keypad. Old phones, calculators, remotes, anything they can dial from. They only need a sequence of 7. 4. Do not let others speak the numbers. That's how they spread. A single recitation in public can infect entire towns. 5. If you hear your name repeated on a loop from any unknown source, run. You're no longer being warned. You're being called back. 6. And if, by some mercy, you make it to the 48th day after the first call without answering again, don't celebrate. That's when they test if you've learned silence. That's when they speak through someone else. Tonight is my 48th night. There's a knock at the door right now. I haven't owned a doorbell in years, but I just heard it chime 3 times, each tone matching the first 3 digits of my own number. My phone screen is dark. But the landline. It's lit up. Not ringing. Not beeping. Just glowing, red hot, like an ember. I know if I touch it, I won't feel plastic. I'll feel skin. I won't write again after this. Not because I'm giving up. But because my hands are starting to type words I didn't think. I can feel them listening through me now. Every letter. Every breath. Every pause. They don't need my voice anymore. They have yours. So if your phone lights up at 3:47 a.m. If you hear a familiar voice ask, "Is it safe to come home?" If your reflection smiles before you do, hang up. Or don't. Either way, you're already on the line.